Hey folks, Jessica here. So today we're in Granblue Fantasy, and today I want to do an updated character spotlight for Summer Mimlemel. So this will hopefully be faster than the Grand Zoe update, because you can't really talk Swimsuit Zoe without giving the whole rundown on how enmity works and all that for players who aren't as familiar with that mechanic. Mimlemel is going to be a lot more straightforward. And I want to talk about her because it's getting towards the end of swimsuit season in Granblue Fantasy, and there's one character from the summer banners that you could really focus on to improve your performance in the upcoming Fire Advanced Unite fight. It's going to be Summer Mimlemel. She's going to be the biggest potential impact on your team if you don't already have her. And that was very much the case when she originally came around, and really elevated the usability and overall power and consistency of fire teams. So yeah, let's just jump into what she does. So when Summer Mimlemel came out last year, if you don't remember, if you weren't around, she was a huge power jump for fire as an entire element. She made fire a lot more consistent and able to much more easily and reliably handle shorter fights, like all the United Fight content. So what does she do? She is a fire element. She is a Harvin. She's special style. Her specialties are melee and harp. Her charge attack is question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. I don't know why they went with that. It does 1,250% fire damage to a foe, so unworldly fire damage. Remember that. Her charge attack hits really, really hard. Once she charge attacks, she will faint. She stuns herself. And a theme you're going to get with Mimlemel's kit is she's very much meant to do a very short burst of good things, but not really built for a long term fight. You'll get more of that as we keep on going. So her one is Ocean Revel. All fire allies gain 70% charge bar uh, at level 55 when it's fully leveled up. This cannot be recast. Her two is Beachside Bugle. Its duration is 1 turn. All allies gain a 20% attack up on the Assassin modifier. And it also gives an increase to one foe attack damage cap and a charge attack damage cap increase as well. So it's basically an assassin. Though a thing to keep in mind, because this isn't necessarily obvious if you're just looking at icons, assassins are not all the same. Other characters have stronger assassins than this. Like Tien's assassin, Esther's assassin is much stronger than this. Jita's assassin, the Bandit Tycoon, is much stronger than this. So keep that in mind. Not all assassin skills give you the same amount of bonus. That said, this is team wide on one button, so it's not bad. But it's just keep in mind the numbers can be lower. Don't think it's going to give you as much damage as using Esther's assassin. And then Brazen Gleam is her 3. All fire allies gain a 7,000 point shield, veil, and dispel cancel. Can't be recast. And Beachside Bugle also can't be recast. None of her stuff can be recast. Again, like I said, she's for a very short fight where you use all her stuff and then the fight's over, ideally. It's not all downside though. For longer fights, she does have her passives, which do help quite a bit. So, Sea Gliding Turtle. Raise surf level by 1 upon using a skill. Remember, she's got 3 skills, none of them can be recast. This can stack up to a maximum of 3. When you hit 3 stacks, level 3 gives you a 30% boost to attack, a 10% boost to damage cap, and she will deal guaranteed triples. So, essentially, once you use all her skills, she turns into a pretty effective gorilla. If she can be as effective as a character that has skills that like they can repeatedly use in a long fight, no. But the fact that she does get pretty strong after she uses everything does mean that for a medium length fight, she's still fine. And then she's also got Midsummer Heatwave, deal 3 hit damage nuke to random foes on the 3rd hit of each normal attack. This is essentially whenever she triples, which she's guaranteed to do because of Sea Lion Turtle, she will deal supplemental damage. It's just a small extra boost of damage. So that's basically it. Her kit's real simple. I think what you need to really see to understand why it's good is just how it fits into the overall strategy for Fire. So, real quick note, not super important, but Mimimo did just get a new skin. Those are her skins, her normal skins, and then she got the Mimimo of the Dead skin from the August of the Dead event. I can never tell this thing's on because it just looks like a slightly paler Mimimo to me, but it's fun if you got it. So the thing people immediately latched onto when they first saw her is the fact that her one gives the whole team 70% charge bar. The mastery was simple. If you're running a crew that gives you 30% charge bar on battle start, which you should be, then this will get you 100% charge bar. So obviously that's going to let your whole team full burst. So Mimlemel is really good for enabling a one-turn kill setup, which we'll get into in a second. But the other big thing is she plays extraordinarily well with Alanon. So Alanon is one of the evokers, and alongside Nier and Kame, is routinely cited as one of the most powerful evokers. Those three are the ones you want to prioritize. We've talked about Nier recently, we've talked about Kame recently. Alanon's another one of them. The big thing Alanon does, and I'm not going to talk about the rest of his kit because this isn't about Alanon. The big thing he does is Renation Creed. Renation Creed is his 2, and it gives all allies 100% triple attack up, 30% bonus fire attack damage, so a 30% echo, and then inflicts shorted on all allies, and then consumes 100% of all allies' charge bars. You've seen this effect a few times at this point. This is essentially the same thing as Ilnat's Roaring Crew or Fairy's, I think it's her 3, Light Fairy. And this skill is always pretty exciting when you can make it work. The issue is having an enabler to make it work. Ilnat was really very uniquely powerful in that she could kind of self-enable this as long as she has someone that give 30% charge bar. Alanon, when he came out, was considered very, very, very good because he had this, but it was a bit of an issue how you actually enabled this consistently because like it's just a little tricky to get this rolling. Fairy, Light Fairy, is still a character that, and she's had that for a long time. She's had this skill for a long time. Uh, Light never really got a way to easily enable it, and Fairy is not a character that's considered that important for Light or that big a deal for Light because she really never got a thing that allowed her to enable that. She's good in strike time. A lot of people say you should use her in strike time, which is true. She's good in strike time. Though you might argue you don't even really need her now with Nihan. But strike time enabled it. So Alanon, while very good, needed an enabler. And then Mimlemel came out and was exactly the enabler that Alanon needed to really, really, really push fire forward. Because being able to turn one this consistently suddenly makes your strategy for approaching a fight a lot more consistent. And really the name of the game, especially for something where you're doing the same thing over and over, like United Fight, is consistency. So yeah, these two together are an extremely powerful combo. But in addition to that, all of Mimlemel's stuff plays into that kind of like get everyone super buffed, blow up the boss as fast as possible, and if the fight goes on super long, then you're probably not using that team. So keep in mind again, she can give the whole team a mini assassin. It is an assassin, it's not as high a modifier, and then this shield plus veil plus a spell cancel on one button is also pretty strong. So really, I think the biggest thing we can do now to demonstrate Mimlemel is just show you how she works in fights, because I could talk about this for a while, but you can just see how this looks. So the first thing to look at is Mimlemel's ability to enable a one button, one turn kill for fire. Is she the only way to one button, one turn kill for fire? Probably not. I would almost certainly say no, she isn't. But she makes it super simple because she gives the whole team 70% charge bar so that everyone's ready to full burst. Remember, when you're approaching a one turn kill, it's a puzzle. And there's different pieces of the puzzle. One piece of it is how you get everyone 100% charge bar, assuming you're going a charge attack method, which is the most common one to get to the one turn kill. And then like the other pieces of the puzzle are, can you get enough damage? Can you get enough skill activations? Like what's the pieces of the puzzle that you need? She's one of the big tools you can get to solve one of the harder pieces of that puzzle. So the rest of the team is Siegfried because he does a big skill damage nuke after charge attack. I think Vayne and Lancelot also do that if you got them. Summer Izamir, who maybe I'll do a spotlight on too. Maybe I'll just do all the swimsuit characters at some point, at least the fire ones. Uh, she's here because she does an absolute shit ton of damage on charge attack. Like she doesn't skill damage nuke afterwards, but she hits so freaking hard on charge attack. You'll see. I didn't realize how hard she hits on charge attack until I tried this recently. Then Mimlemel to enable it, but Mimlemel also hits really, 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 really hard on charge attack. So these work great together. The grid. This is pretty straightforward. I'm Berserker. That's not super important. You can run whatever you want, but I'm running a Shumgal main hand. This is from the Proving Grounds for Fire. If you don't already have one of these, then if the Proven Ransom Fire comes around before the United Fight, I recommend you farm at least one of these. The main reason is it's got skill damage cap up on its skill, but also does a skill damage nuke on charge check and lowers fire defense, so it kind of sets the rest of the team up to get the damage and gets itself add some damage. In addition to that, the rest of the grid, it's 3 Ixabas, it's an Astral Weapon, it's a Dark Opus weapon with the Stamina key and the Charge Shock damage key, Rise of Beast Katana with the damage cap Cypher, Seraphic Weapon, and then this is Summer Mirage. It's also from Rise of the Beast. It's our Magna Multiplier, but in addition to being a Magna Multiplier, it gets us Charge Attack damage cap and Charge Attack damage. So it's really good for one-turn kill. If you have not farmed Rise of the Beast yet to get these, I would at least get this katana and this weapon, this gun. Like, at least get the katana and gun. If you're getting ready for United Fight, they will help. And then this weapon is Shiva's bow. This thing is 0-star uncap, you might have noticed, but I want you to look at something. So the thing you get for 4-star uncapping it and fully leveling it is a big boost to Fire Allies' crit hit rate. That's great, but I'm trying to actually minimize the crit rate in my my grid for one-turn kill, because that's going to add variance to the consistency. I want to be able to get there without crits, right? So that's not actually important for one-turn kill at all. It's also why I'm not using Benetia in this grid. Benetia would be my other grid when we talk about a longer fight. But the big thing you're using this for is the big boost to charge attack damage and charge attack damage cap, which you get even at 0-star. It's only going to be skill level 10 as opposed to 15, but you're still getting this, and that's still very helpful. So as long as the rest of your grid can make up for the fact that you're not getting that much damage out of this because it's 0-star and just doesn't have much raw attack on it, then you should be fine. As if you have one of these at all, it's probably worth using your one-turn kill setup. The summons are pretty straightforward. I'm running Agni for my primal main summon, running the Sun for extra damage cap, running Michael, the Archangel summon. Archangel summons all give you essentially extra damage cap against your advantage element. Surtur is a crest summon. Not actually going to be helpful in this setup because we won't have any crests, but he does have a lot of attacks, so he's just here. I mean, this could be anything else. If you have a wellness and a villainous, and you're running primal, then that'd be great here, but I don't, so I'm not running that here. And then Belial for extra damage. This is pretty standard using this grid a bunch of times. Let's go one turn kill something. So the main advantage of being able to use a character to get to 100% charge bar as opposed to, say, a summon is it enables you to use, say, double primal summon, double magna summon, whatever you're set up for, and get a lot of extra damage that way. Traditionally, if you wanted to get to full charge bar in one button, you'd do something like use a Huanglong summon, because Huanglong's Call gets you to 100% charge bar on everybody. But the issue is that significantly reduces the amount of damage you do, because the aura on Huanglong is just not very powerful. And because of that, your grid's going to be really strong. Your character's going to be really strong to get there. So a character enabling 100% charge bar gets you there a lot easier, because damage is much less an issue. It's why Relic Buster, getting any element essentially to 1% charge bar in 2 buttons, has made one-turn kills a lot more accessible for all the elements, because 2 buttons, you can run whatever summons you want. 2 buttons, you get a full charge bar. So this is gonna be super obvious once again here. All I'm gonna hit is Mimlemel's 1. So there you go, full charge bar, and let's attack. Jesus uses a Shumgal, it's gonna do a nuke afterwards, and fire defense down. Siegfried's gonna do a big charge attack and then nuke as well. Izumi's gonna charge attack from absolute shit ton of damage. 6 mil, wow. 6 mil. And then Mimlemel's also gonna charge attack for shit ton damage, like almost 6 mil as well. There you go, didn't even need the Sheen burst. And a lot of that is these characters all hit really hit hard on charge attack or have an auto nuke on charge attack. But the fact that Mimlemel enables you to run double primal, double magna, whatever, and still get to 1% charge bar on 1 button, that's why she is extraordinarily good for one-turn kill setup. So for a medium length fight, we're gonna run this setup, and you might be looking at Bandit Tycoon thinking, I thought Bandit Tycoon is just for wand pawning, or for like farming or treasure hunter. Well, it was, but a thing changed, and I'll give you a brief update here in case you're not familiar. And Bandit Tycoon's actually great for medium length fights now because of Spring's Gate. So Bandit Tycoon has always had Crack Shot 3, which gives a big assassin against a foe in break. But the issue was foe's gotta be in break, which is always awkward to set up, especially if there's more, especially if it's a raid with many other people. Spring's Gate got added later to the Bandit Tycoon kit, and this applies Onslaught to all foes, which allows you to attack them as if they were in break at any time. So it allows you to break Assassin at any time. So that was a huge bonus. It also gives an echo based on bounty level up to 60%. So this works great for short fights. Bandit Tycoon is really good for killing something fast now. The rest of the team, Tien, Esser, maybe I'll do a spotlight on her actually because I haven't talked about her. But she essentially can give herself a really big assassin in addition to treasure hunt and skill damage, all that kind of stuff. And then if the fight is long, she can give the whole team guaranteed triple and break assassin and echo, which demolishes bosses. But that's going to take 10 turns. This fight's not going to go 10 turns. Shouldn't go 10 turns. So that's why she's here. Mimlemel, we talked about. Alanon, we talked about earlier. The back row, not going to come into play. That's the team. This is the grid. I dropped the Shumgal for Benetia, and then dropped Shiva's Bow for another Benetia. So this is my standard fire grid. It's a 5 weapon fire grid. I don't know what else to say about it. It's 3 Exibus, 2 Benetias, Astral Weapon, Rise of Beast Katana, Tarkopus Weapon, Seraphic Weapon, Magna Weapon. Magna, Rise of Beast Gun. Again, farm it if you don't. It's useful. And then same summon Dex 4. So let's just jump into a fight. Okay, for the fight, we're not going to do something really long, like, say, Grimnir, just because Grimnir's got so much HP that, no matter what, that's going to be a longish fight. For a fight that long, I would probably not actually take a Mimlemel team. I would take something like my full auto skill damage team. The one I showcased in the Swimsuit Kamhira character spotlight. The full auto team that uses Swimsuit Kamhira, Athena, and Crispus Nenemy to just do a ton of skill damage. That's more suited to that kind of fight. Mimlemel, really, you would want to take 2 fights that are anywhere between 1 to 5 turns. Anything much longer than that, and you probably have better other options. But yeah, with that in mind, we'll do something like, say, Neza, who has bonus drop rates. I did not realize that. Let's just do this one. This is about the perfect length for a Mimlemel fight. With that in mind, we're not going to take Double Agni. Double Agni would be better for a longer fight, but we're just going to really lean in to try and end this fight as soon as possible, so we'll use a Shiva for the call, because Shiva's call essentially gives a team-wide assassin. So, first things first, we're going to do Ocean Revel, give everybody 100% charge bar, then Renation Creed, that's 2, give us triple and echo, Sun Touch Paradise for the field effects, Wrath of Goddess, then we're going to activate Bounty Hunter and Jita first. Remember, you want to activate Bounty Hunt first, because that's not guaranteed to land, but Intense Bullet on Tien is guaranteed to land. The Bounty Hunt on that is guaranteed to land. So that gets you 6, which would get a 60% on Spring's Gate for Jita. So that's how you get that pretty guaranteed. White Smoke, just to protect us. Stardust, just for some damage. And then we're not going to activate Shiva this turn. Here. Beachside Bugle for the Assassin, Brazen Gleam for some protection, and we're not going to activate Shiva this turn because we have an Assassin from from Beachside Bugle. We'll activate the Sun for Double Strike, so now everyone's going to Double Strike. And Neza up. Alright, so far so good. So note the numbers there, the level assassin. Mimlemel's assassin is an assassin, it's just not going to be as strong as, say, the Shiva assassin, which we'll use now. This will be a lot more damage. Let's see, like 2 mil. Well, over 2.5 mil. There you go. And then this guy will do his thing, but we've got Brazen Gleam up to protect ourselves, so this shouldn't be too bad. Nice try. And then we have one more round of assassins. And the goal of the setup is to have an assassin on every turn of the guaranteed triples. So we're going to use Spring Skate to apply Onslaught and Echo to everybody. Track Shot for the assassin on Jita. The final order for assassin on Tien. And then we'll just use Asserter to give ourselves some classic some damage. And then we're going to kill him. Like, note how hard Jita hit. Really, really, really hard. Oh, he lived. He lived. He lived. Rude. Okay, fine. We'll apply one more round treasure on it. But yeah, that's the idea. 1 to 5 turns, you're gonna just devastate the opponent. I'm kind of annoyed you actually lived through that. Dare you not die immediately. Alright, so conclusions. So that's Mimlemel. She's very clearly meant for shorter fights. 1 turn to 5 turns, I would say. Some people might ask, do you need Alanon to use her? You still gain some benefit from having her because, again, the 1-turn kill setups, and that's also good for farming, by the way. Like, 1-turn kill setups are great for 1-turn killing EX Plus in United Fight, but they're also great for farming. So keep that in mind. So she's good for that as well. She doesn't necessarily need Alanon, but for a fight longer than, like, anything you're going to try in 1 turn, then yeah, you really do want to have an Alanon. The two of them go very, very, very well together. But yeah, her kit is very clearly made for short fights because she can't recast anything. All her stuff is 1 cast. And in addition to that, she stuns herself on charge attack. So really, like, you kind of want to just get all her stuff up, do what you're going to do, and then charge attack once for most, and then you kind of, the fight should be over. Otherwise, you're going to start losing some ground due to the fact that she stuns herself, and due to the fact that she's got no more active skills, she's just got her passive. Granted, 30% attack up, 10% damage cap up, and guaranteed triple still makes her a pretty damaging character, and the actual supplemental damage nuke on her triples still makes her a pretty damaging character, but like she's gonna start losing like effectiveness and utility the further into the fight you go. So how does she rank overall? Remember, the scale is C tier to double S tier. C tier meaning just a really bad character, double S tier meaning a meta-defining character. And it's around 3 axes that will look at the character. So it'll be how well they perform in a very fast fight, so 1-turn kill to 5 turns, how they perform in a full auto situation, how they perform in a high difficulty situation. And for Mimlemel, let's just start with a fast fight. She is clearly double S tier there. She really elevates Fire's game in terms of being able to easily enable 1-button 1-turn kill, easily get access, consistently get access to Alanon's 2, which is one of its most powerful weapons. When Mimlemel came out, she really elevated Fire's ability to race also. For full auto, she's not amazing in full auto because, again, her stuff for a longer fight, it's going to start losing some value. But she's still actually pretty good in full auto because her stuff in the initial round is going to have all the value, right? But once you do that, she's still going to be a really powerful gorilla. Like, 30% attack up and 10% damage cap up, and guaranteed triple is the big one, and then supplemental damage on triple attack. Those are all very good things, even if the rest of her kit's turned off at that point. So yeah, she's actually going to get an A for me for full auto. She's totally fine there. She's not bringing anything that's uniquely well suited to full auto, but she's also not a character that has a bunch of skills that just don't work on full auto at all. So yeah, she would get A tier there. High difficulty, I would say she's going to be C tier, and I think it's pretty clear why. She can't reactivate any of her stuff. And for high difficulty, you really want a lot of options to solve things like omens, to solve things like triggers. And a character that can't reactivate any of their skills brings very limited value. A character that only does a lot of damage after a certain point is going to be very limited in value in a high difficulty situation. So overall, I would give her a double S tier ranking. When she came out, she was a huge gain for Fire players that got her. She significantly made Fire a more powerful element. Like I said, a lot of she adds a lot of consistency, and really, really, really enables one of Fire's most powerful weapons, which is Alanon, and really legitimately enabled Fire to race a lot more competitively than had been able to do in the past. Now, it's also worth talking about those 3 categories: fast fights, full auto, and high difficulty don't all feed into the overall ranking at the same level. The things you do every day are things like farming, doing fights that are short to medium length, ideally, especially if you're running a more endgame grid. Those things are more important to your overall experience. So I actually weight things like being able to clear content, like clear fast fights well, to being more important. Characters that are good at fast fights are going to score a bit higher. Characters that are better at full auto are also going to score a little bit higher as well. Not like a lot of fights you full auto just because it's the easiest way to handle a lot of fights. So that's going to be worth a decent amount too. High difficulty is going to be worth a little bit less, to be honest, because you don't do high difficulty fights all the time. Like you're not gonna like do Lucilius HL over and over and over and over and over again. You're not gonna like it's not gonna be as big a part of the kit. So yeah, if you wanted to take a look at how the ranking system works, fast fights are going to be the most important thing. Full auto are going to be in the middle, and then high difficulty, like certainly nice to have. And there's going to be very few characters that are good at all three. So yeah, Mimlemel is double S tier to me. Very clearly a huge boon to a fire player when she came out and to this day. So yeah, good luck if you're trying to pull a Mimlemel. Like definitely good luck. She'll be a big ad for Fire United Fight as she was when she came out. And if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!